At 75, life often presents a crossroads. Some people slow down, and others start to make new memories, creating fresh stories even at this later stage of life. So, what separates those who seem to thrive from those who feel like they're just getting by? Health experts agree, if you can still do these four things, you're not just surviving, you're truly winning at life. These are not just mere tasks, but are the key pillars that signify that you've truly mastered the art of aging with grace, vitality, and health. Let me tell you why. When we're younger, we often take our bodies for granted. We run, jump, and move with ease. But as the years pass, things start to slow down, and we find ourselves wishing for the energy we once had. But imagine, just for a moment, that at 75 you could still move like you did when you were in your prime. You can still stretch your body, feel your muscles working, and even break a sweat from time to time. That feeling, that freedom of movement, is one of the greatest gifts you can have in life. It's more than just staying fit. It's a way to stay engaged with the world around you. I remember the story of my grandfather. He was 78, but you would never have guessed it by looking at him. He wasn't the kind of person to sit on the porch, watching the world go by. Instead, every morning he would lace up his old sneakers and take a walk around the neighborhood, rain or shine. It wasn't a sprint, and it wasn't a marathon, but it was movement. And even at that age, there was a kind of joy in seeing him do something so simple. His body was in motion, and with every step, he was sending signals to his muscles, bones, and joints to stay strong. That's the magic of movement. You don't need to run marathons, but consistency is key. In fact, health experts argue that if you're able to keep moving freely at 75, you're doing far better than most people. The muscles in your body respond to movement, no matter how small. Whether it's a brisk walk, a few minutes of stretching, or gentle yoga, it's the consistency of activity that helps keep the joints lubricated and the muscles strong. And let's not forget, movement doesn't just preserve the body, it preserves the soul. Now, if you're wondering what kind of impact this really has, think about the alternative. When you stop moving, your body begins to lose its strength and flexibility. Muscles atrophy, bones become brittle, and your joints get stiff. But movement, it tells your body, I'm not done yet. Even light activity has profound effects on your health, from enhancing circulation to boosting mood. It's one of the simplest yet most profound ways to maintain not only physical health, but emotional health too. It's a sign of vitality, the very thing that tells the world you're still in the game. But movement isn't the only thing that determines if you're truly winning at life at 75. You see, there's another pillar of thriving in your later years: mental sharpness. It's often said that the mind is a terrible thing to waste, but it's also a fragile thing to neglect. One of the greatest fears as we age is losing our memory, our ability to think clearly, or worse, our sense of self. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. Aging doesn't have to mean cognitive decline. In fact, it can be just the opposite if you keep your mind engaged. Think about the way a muscle works. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Well, your brain is no different. I'll never forget the story of a woman I met at a local coffee shop. Her name was Helen, and she was 82, but she spoke with the energy and clarity of someone half her age. As we got to talking, I learned she had a secret. She read every single day, sometimes books, sometimes articles, and sometimes even poetry. But she didn't just read for leisure, she did it to engage with the world. In the evenings, she'd tackle crossword puzzles, and occasionally she'd join a local group that worked on writing short stories. She believed that mental exercise was the most important thing for her well-being. At 75, if your mind is still sharp, you're not just winning, you're thriving. Research shows that lifelong learners are better able to ward off diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. The mind grows stronger, more resilient the more you use it. Whether it's learning a new skill, playing a strategic game like chess, or solving complex problems, these activities boost brain function. And as Helen proved, the simple act of reading and engaging in thoughtful conversation can keep your mind in top shape. Mental sharpness is a treasure, and it's something you can maintain. But here's something many people overlook: the power of social connection. We live in an era where technology connects us more than ever, but it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling isolated. As we get older, our friends may pass away, our families become busier, and sometimes we end up feeling like we've lost our social footing. But the importance of staying connected, staying in the loop, and maintaining relationships is often underestimated. In fact, this is one of the most significant factors in longevity. You've probably heard that laughter is the best medicine, but did you know that social connections are just as important as physical health? At 75, if you still have a close-knit circle of friends or family, you're ahead of the curve. Relationships not only bring joy, but they also provide vital support. This is the kind of support that helps you weather storms, whether it's a difficult time in life or just the everyday challenges that come with aging. I remember a woman named Margaret who had lost her husband years earlier, but she didn't let that pull her into isolation. Every Tuesday, she met with a group of old friends for coffee, laughter, and storytelling. They'd swap jokes, reminisce about their younger years, and simply enjoy each other's company. Margaret always said that she owed her vitality to those weekly meetups, having people to talk to laugh with, to share life with. That's what kept her going. Social connections reduce the risk of depression and anxiety, and they provide you with a sense of purpose. And it's this sense of community that makes you feel like you belong, that you're still a part of the world, not just a passive observer. But there's one last thing, a crucial component of winning at life when you're 75. It's something that doesn't get talked about enough, but it might be the most important of all, the ability to embrace change. Life is not static, and neither are we. Aging means accepting new challenges, learning new skills, and even reinventing ourselves when necessary. People who truly thrive in their later years are those who don't get stuck in the past, but instead find joy in adapting to new realities. Maybe that's learning how to use a smartphone to FaceTime with grandkids, or taking up a new hobby that seemed intimidating before. Whatever it is, the ability to stay open to change keeps you youthful. The secret is simple. The older we get, the more we must embrace the idea that life is not a set path, but a journey that can shift and change in beautiful, unexpected ways. When you reach 75, there's a certain power in knowing who you are and understanding the importance of your choices. The good news? You don't have to do everything perfectly. Just keep moving, stay mentally active, nurture your relationships, and remain open to new experiences.